Hello friends, Ace Botane next episode. In this episode, we'll be discussing biological classification, 6th part. Now one more needed, that is for virus and subviral particles, by which chapter will be over. So for convenience, I will share the screen so it will be easy for you also. I think screen came, so we can proceed. So biological classification, 6th one. And what all things we'll be discussing in this episode. An introduction will be there. Then kingdom Plantae, kingdom Animalia, lichens, mycorrhiza, and 5 theory question, 5 NEET model question as usual. So we can proceed with the introduction. So discussion mainly plants, Plantae, kingdom Plantae, how they are autotroph, their features. Similarly, kingdom Animalia, how they are heterotrophs. Then lichens, association lichens, then mycobiome, phycobiome, then mycorrhiza, fungus and higher plants. Then different association linked with all these kingdoms like autotrophs, heterotrophs, then helotism, symbiosis, mutualism, followed by questions. So we can start with the kingdom Plantae. Kingdom Plantae includes all eukaryotic chlorophyll containing organisms, commonly called plants, NCERT page number 19. Only some members are partially heterotrophic, like parasites or insectivorous. And the plants I shown there, that is one is Cuscuta, a parasite. While bladderwort and Venus flytrap, they are insectivorous. I think first page is clear. We can proceed to second page. Plant cell. Plants has got their own features that we studied in lower class also still. Plant cells usually have a cellulosic cell wall, chloroplast. And life cycle has got two dominant phases. One is haploid gametophyte N, other is diploid sporophyte 2N. And lengths of the stages NN to N or haploid or diploid or gametophyte or sporophyte. So length of the stages or which stage is dominant, which is dependent, all depends on which group, like bryophyte, pteridophyte, gymnosperm, angiosperm likewise, depends on groups. Gametophytic, sporophytic stages alternates regularly. And it is called alternation of generation, NCERT page number 19 that we discussed in plant kingdom in detailed manner. Now comes kingdom Animalia. Kingdom Animalia is characterized by heterotrophic, not able to produce their own food, eukaryotic organisms. Normally, they are multicellular, cell wall is absent. Since no chloroplast in them, they cannot synthesize their own food, so they depend on plants directly or indirectly. And in animal side, the reserve food is glycogen or fats. And nutrition is supposed to be holozoic. That is the word given, holozoic, animal nutrition. And they have elaborate sensory neuromotor system, especially in higher forms. In our case, you know. Most of them are motile. I think this page is clear. We can proceed to next page. Most of them are motile or having power of locomotion. Sexual reproduction is by copulation, followed by embryological development. That are the two kingdoms, Plantae and Animalia. Now comes third group, lichens. The term is concerned with the famous scientist Theophrastus. And lichens, generally when we speak, even connected with NCERT, it is a symbiotic or mutualism, symbiotic association between algae and fungi. Some authorities say, or some scientists say it is not symbiosis, it is helotism. But NCERT is not dealing with helotism. That is why that word I purposefully avoided from the note. For us, it is symbiotic or mutualistic, mutualism. Algal component is called phycobiome, phycology study of algae. And the fungal component is called mycobiome, mycology study of fungus. And normally in lichens, mycobiome is the dominant partner. And this mycobiome belongs to ascomycete or basidiomycete normally. Same manner, phycobiome that belongs to chlorophyceae or blue green algae normally. Lichens also grow in most inhospitable and uninhabited places, that is barren rocks, cold volcanic lava, icy tundra or alpines, sand dunes, etc. And they prefer humid and exposed conditions. But they can also tolerate extreme desiccation. Lichens cannot tolerate pollution. Specifically, sulfur dioxide is an important question. So sulfur dioxide pollution, they cannot tolerate. Generally pollution, specifically sulfur dioxide pollution, though, that is an indicator of sulfur dioxide. Lichens are perennials. Growth is slow and different colors are seen in lichens. I think up to that it is clear. We can proceed to next page. Next is structure of lichens. Lichens, normally an association between fungus and algae, what we call symbiosis or mutualism. Major part of the lichen body formed by mycobiome, fungal partner, that is approximately 95%, and phycobiome, algal partners, are automatically less, around 5%. And that is in the algal zone lower to the surface. That is area where algae can be seen, the algal zone lower to the surface. Now, functions of mycobiome and phycobiome. Mycobiome, 95%, so main bulk of the body. Mycobiome helps for anchoring, and mycobiome absorbs minerals and water. And sex organs and fructification, that is reproductive mode, basically mycobiome type. And what is the role of mycobiome in lichen? They can do photosynthesis, so concerned with the food production. Now, how these lichens reproduce? Many methods are there. One is progressive death and decay. Second is fragmentation. Third is a phenomenon called CDF formation. Fourth is most efficient method, that is soredia. Soredia means algae surrounded by fungal mycelium. Soredia, most efficient mechanism of reproduction in lichens. Now, next is types of lichens. See, basically 3 groups we can identify based on their external morphology. That is custos. Example is graphis. Folios, like leaf, parmelia. There we can find rhizanes for attachment in foliose type. Fruticose, that is cladonia. And economic aspects of lichens. Many aspects are there one by one. One is ecological point. They are early colonizers in succession. And they also indicate pollution, specifically sulfur dioxide. And some lichens used as food. So a typical example is reindeer moss, scientifically Cladonia rangifera. In tundra areas, food for reindeers. Dyes. From Rosella tinctoria, a dye is extracted. It is called orchil. From Rosella mondagini, there is another indicator, litmus. Perfumes, costly perfumes also extracted, like lichens like Evernia, Ramalina, etc. Then medicines. From Acinia, acinic acid. And forest fire. Acinia concerned with the forest fires, etc. And Acinia is often called old man's bear. Now comes the last group. In today's discussion, it is mycorrhiza fungal root. It is again a symbiotic association between fungus with roots of higher plants like gymnosperm and angiosperm mainly. I think it is clear. We can proceed to next page. Interestingly, mycorrhizal root lack root cap and root hairs. And advantages for the fungus and plants through this mycorrhizal association. Fungus, already we know it cannot produce food, so fungus will get food. Fungus will get a place as a shelter. Where for plants, fungus mycelium, so increase surface area for absorption. So absorption also increase. Then increase supply of nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, water, etc. connected with the fungus. And based on location, mycorrhiza can be 2 types, where it is internal or external. One is ectomycorrhiza, other is entomycorrhiza. And what are the properties? Ectomycorrhiza is the fungal hyphae, mainly external surface of root, and forms network of mycelium. It is often called heartic net. And it is in the intercellular space of the cortex, intercellular. In ectomycorrhiza, the microbiome mainly belongs to basidiomycete. Example is boletus and pinus root. Now, when we come to entomycorrhiza, term endo means inside. So, fungal hyphae will enter the tissue or root, which will be spreading both intercellularly and intracellularly. So, both here in endomycorrhiza. The question, fungus can break cell wall. That depends, and can enter cortical areas of the root. There are certain hyphae which can send small projections into cortical cell. Such fungus often called VAM, vesicular arbuscular mycorrhiza. Example, orchid roots as in zygomycetes. Then after that, 5 theory question, 5 NEET model question as usual. That is regarding the topic, today's discussion. So what all things we discussed in this episode, we can just revise. So bioclassification 6, introduction regarding what we are discussing today, Plantae, Animalia, lichen, mycorrhiza. Then Plantae, what are the characters, autotroph and few heterotrophs. Then what are the features seen in plant cell wall, chloroplast, and life cycle has got 2 phases, haploid and diploid gametophyte, sporophyte. It depends depending on plant groups. Then regular alternation of generation between these 2 phases. Then kingdom Animalia. that is basically heterotrophs, eukaryotic organism, multicellular, cell wall absent, chloroplast absent, reserve food is glycogen and fat, and nutrition is hollow soil. And there will be having sensory and neuromotor system, especially higher forms, and most of the forms are motile. Sexual reproduction is by copulation, followed by embryological development. Now comes the lichens, connected with the scientist Theophrastus. Then lichens are symbiotic association between algae and fungi. That is what NCERT says. Algae component is phycobion, other is mycobion. Mycobion is dominant, and the fungal partners will be ascomycete and basidiomycete normally. And phycobionts normally belongs to Chlorophysium BGA, and lichens grow in most inhospitable and uninhabited places. And they can tolerate even extreme conditions. They are indicators of pollution, specifically sulfur dioxide indicator. Lichens are perennials. Growth is slow. Different colors are seen in lichens. Now, structure of lichen, basically, association between fungus and algae. Major partner is fungus, almost 95%. And phycobiont is algal partner, that is 5% at the algal zone lower to surface. Then functions of mycobiont and phycobiont, main body, anchoring, absorption of minerals, water, sex organs, and fortification. While phycobiont, it is photosynthesis and food. Reproduction, different methods, and most efficient is Soredia, alga surrounded by fungal mycelium. Now, types of lichens. It is based on external morphology, crustose, foliose, porticose. Then examples, then economic aspects of lichens, ecological point, food, then dyes, perfumes, medicines, and forest fires, old man's bear. Then mycorrhiza, that is fungal root. So lichens over. Symbiotic association between fungus with the roots of higher plants, gymnosperm and angiosperm, typical example. Then mycorrhiza root lack root cap and root hairs. Then advantage for fungus, advantage for plants. And based on location where mycorrhiza can be divided into two, ectomycorrhiza and endomycorrhiza. Ectomycorrhiza heartic knit, intercellular, mycobiome normally from basidiomycete, boletus and pinus. While endomycorrhiza, it can be both intercellular and intracellular. And we can also find small projections into cortical cell, such fungus, VAM, that is vesicular arbuscular mycorrhiza, orchid root, and normally this endomycorrhiza connected with the zygomycetes. And after that, 5 theory question, 5 NEET model question as usual with the key. Now, one more episode needed to finish bioclassification, preferably tomorrow. It will be there. Tomorrow by this time, I will give in YouTube or evening. Meanwhile, shorts question, I'm daily putting, pass through it, subscribe base buttons will be getting all this. So for time being, we can wind up. Thank you. Take care. Bye.